My beloved child, when they pierced my hands, I thought of yours. When they drove the thorns into my brow, I saw the crown I had placed over your life, not one of pain, but of purpose. You were the reason I stayed on that cross. I didn't hang there because they held me. I hung there because I wouldn't let go of you. You ask if I see you, if I remember you, if I still care. And I whisper, you were the reason I gave it all. I didn't endure the silence of that grave to impress heaven. I did it to break open a door no one else could, a door meant for you. And now, after all I've done, I ask just one thing in return. Can you give me 1 minute of your undivided heart? 1 minute to remind you that I have never forgotten the sound of your voice. 1 minute to show you that even when you walked away, I stayed. You've scrolled past thousands of voices, but this one, this is mine. And I did not speak to fill your screen. I spoke to fill your soul. Don't skip this. Heaven is holding its breath. Something massive is drawing near, and it has your name written on it. I remember the exact moment you almost gave up, not the day others saw, but the moment deep inside when your spirit whispered, maybe I am not worth it. And in that breath, I stood beside you, screaming silently with love, you are worth everything. A tear you wiped before anyone could notice, I noticed. The dream you buried because the world said it was impossible, I never stopped watering it. And that ache that returns in the quiet when the noise is gone, I've been healing it, little by little, waiting for you to give me just enough space to finish what I started. You don't need to prove your worth to me. I proved my love for you with every drop of blood I spilled. And now I ask again, not with pressure, not with guilt, but with the deepest compassion heaven has ever spoken, can you give me 1 minute? 1 minute for me to lift the weight you silently carried. 1 minute for me to speak what the world never told you, that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, not lost in the crowd. You are mine. Stay till the end. There's something I've been holding back until now. Something that will shift not just your day but your destiny. You've waited for a sign. This is the moment heaven releases what it's been saving just for you. Let me finish what the cross began. Don't scroll away. I gave my life for you, and all I'm asking now is your heart, for just this one sacred minute. My beloved child, you never saw what I shielded you from. You only noticed the closed doors, not the storms waiting behind them. I turned the very delays you resented into divine protection, not to keep blessings from you, but to preserve the version of you I love most, the one still trying, still hoping, still reaching for me even after disappointment. Your life has not been a string of random events. There's a pattern in your pain, a purpose in the pause, a strategy behind every silence. I've been aligning moments, not to test you, but to train you for something greater than you thought possible. When you prayed and nothing changed, I wasn't ignoring you. I was building you. When you hoped and things still fell apart, I wasn't punishing you. I was stretching you into someone whose strength couldn't be stolen. Right now, in this quiet space between your heartbeats, I'm revealing something I've waited to show you. Don't skip what comes next. It's bigger than you expect. Do you remember the time you thought it was over? That breaking point wasn't your end. It was the birthplace of a new beginning. You mistook survival for weakness, but I saw a warrior forming in the shadows. You didn't break. You bloomed in silence. There were nights I whispered things to your soul while your body lay still. I planted visions in your dreams, ideas in your waiting, and healing in the cracks of your most fragile days. The fact that you're still breathing is evidence of a destiny untouched by defeat. What's coming isn't just a reward. It's a reflection of how far you've come unnoticed. I've seen the loyalty you gave even when no one applauded. I've counted the sacrifices that didn't get a thank you. And now I'm answering in ways you didn't see coming. Something huge is waiting for you just ahead, not out of reach, not far down the road. It's near. You're walking right into it even now, with every second you choose to trust instead of doubt. You asked me if it was worth it. The waiting, the weeping, the wondering. And here is my answer. I didn't just die for your salvation. I died for your restoration. I died so you could live fully, laugh freely, and rise even when life tried to bury you. The moment you're in right now is not just another pause. It's the intersection of heaven's timing and your obedience. It's where promises stop being words and start becoming reality. Stay till the end, because the next breath I take in your story will shift everything. Not just your circumstances, but the way you see yourself. I'm about to show you how I've been writing beauty into places you thought were ruined. Don't dismiss this moment. I gave my life not to start something temporary, but to finish something eternal in you. My beloved child, I remember the first time you questioned your purpose. Not aloud, not in front of anyone, but deep within, in that unspoken moment when life's weight pressed too hard and you silently wondered, why me? That question never offended me. It moved me. It drew me closer, not to correct you, but to cradle you in a grace so personal, even your fears felt heard. The moments you felt invisible to others were the ones that caught my full attention. When no one celebrated your resilience, I was documenting every quiet triumph. You didn't need a crowd. I saw you. I still do. There's something I must show you now. Something most overlook in their hurry to move on. You've looked at your story as scattered, broken, incomplete. But if you saw it from where I stand, you'd see gold woven through every seemingly wasted chapter. What you called failure, I used as a foundation. What you called delay, I saw as divine positioning. You have no idea how close you are to the unveiling of what I've been developing behind the curtain of your confusion. I don't ask you to pretend everything is perfect. I ask you to stay with me long enough to understand why none of it was in vain. Don't skip what's coming. What you're about to receive is not encouragement. It's confirmation. You haven't missed your moment. It's arriving with more force and clarity than you imagined possible. I've been preparing people to favor you, arranging encounters you haven't even stepped into yet. The relationships you thought were random will soon reveal their assignment. The timing you doubted will suddenly prove perfect. I did not call you to survive your story. I called you to rewrite the atmosphere around you. That's why your journey has felt intense. Not because you're weak, but because your life carries weight in the unseen realm. There's a shift taking place, not just in your circumstances, but in the authority you carry. The lies that haunted you are breaking mid-sentence. The patterns that once trapped you are losing their grip. You're not simply walking into breakthrough. You're becoming the vessel through which breakthrough is released for others. Stay till the end. What I'm about to do isn't just for you. It's going to ripple into places and people you never thought would change. The healing you've prayed for is coming, not as a single moment, but as a movement, beginning with you. You asked if 1 minute could matter. I ask you now, what if this is the minute everything changes? You didn't stumble onto these words. They found you, because heaven is speaking precisely when your heart is ready. I gave my life to unlock this moment. And now, as the silence settles, listen, not to more noise, but to the voice inside you that's always known. I am near. Before you ever understood love, I had already defined it with your name in mind. Long before you learned how disappointment feels, I chose to stay. What you are sensing right now is not emotion rising and falling. It is recognition. Something inside you knows this voice, not because it is loud, but because it has walked with you through places no one else dared to enter. There is a truth I have not spoken until this moment. I waited because timing matters. Some revelations arrive too early and scare the heart. Others arrive too late and find the door closed. This one arrives now because you are ready to carry it. Here it is. The sacrifice you associate only with the past is still working in your present. The life I gave was not a single moment frozen in history. It is active, alive, and unfolding inside your story right now. The cross was not the ending of my work, it was the beginning of yours. You've thought of yourself as someone trying to catch up, always a step behind what you should have been. I see something different. I see a life unfolding with precision, even when it felt messy to you. I see decisions you made without understanding their impact, choices that quietly redirected you away from harm. I see how close you came to losing yourself, and how you did. It wasn't luck. I intervened in ways you couldn't detect. I placed restraint where impulse wanted control. I planted restlessness when comfort would have trapped you. I allowed dissatisfaction not to punish you, but to move you forward. This is where it becomes personal in a way you haven't expected. You are not only saved from something, you are being sent toward something. There is a responsibility awakening inside you, subtle but undeniable. Not pressure, not fear, awareness, a sense that your life carries weight beyond survival. That sense is accurate. Don't skip this moment. You are standing at the edge of realization. The minute I asked you for was never about time. It was about attention. Because attention opens doors effort never can. When you gave me this space, even unknowingly, you allowed alignment to begin. Things that felt disconnected are starting to line up. Questions you couldn't answer are losing their urgency because clarity is approaching quietly. Something huge is waiting for you, not in the form you imagined, but in the way you'll finally understand why you are who you are. You were shaped to notice what others ignore. You were wired to feel deeply, to question honestly, to care even when it costs you. Those traits were never weaknesses. They were preparation. And now they are about to make sense. Stay till the end of this moment. What happens next will not announce itself with noise but with certainty. You will begin to move differently. Speak differently. Choose differently. Not because you're trying to be better, but because you finally see clearly. I did not give my life to watch you live small. I gave it so you could live awake. And now you are. Not every rescue looks like escape. Sometimes, it looks like endurance. The reason you're still standing is not because the pressure wasn't real, but because I reinforced your spirit where no eye could see. You've been questioning why the fight has lasted this long, unaware that each battle has forged within you a strength that doesn't shake when the winds shift. You're reaching a place now where your past no longer defines your path. It simply testifies to the grace that carried you through. That quiet ache you still feel at times, it's not a weakness. It's a marker of depth, proof that your heart still works, still hopes, still believes. And it is that kind of heart I can trust with what comes next. Many people chase purpose by running towards spotlight, but yours is different. You've been pulled through seasons of refining because what I've prepared for you requires something unshakable. This next chapter isn't about striving harder. It's about walking in the authority I've already placed within you. There's a shift happening even now, subtle yet unstoppable. Doors are beginning to unlock, not because you forced them open, but because your obedience has reached maturity. You've learned to trust me beyond outcomes, and now I'm inviting you into alignment you didn't think was still possible. Don't scroll. You're too close to miss this. What I'm revealing next is not about blessing for comfort. It's about positioning for legacy. I see you asking how this all ties together. You've questioned whether you're behind, whether too much time has passed, whether what you carry still matters. Let me answer plainly. Nothing is wasted. The timeline of heaven does not follow the clocks of men. I've been orchestrating movement behind your limitations. Even when you thought things were falling apart, they were falling into place. Something huge is already in motion, and it bears your fingerprints. The prayers you whispered in exhaustion were not forgotten. They've been gathering momentum, echoing through the halls of heaven, aligning people, moments, and decisions to intersect with your obedience. I didn't preserve you just to heal you. I preserved you because someone else's freedom is connected to your survival. The story you've been living is not just yours. It's going to unlock doors for others who have been walking in silence, waiting for someone who understands. Stay with me. The healing isn't coming. It has already begun. The weight you've been carrying is losing power. Not because you found the solution, but because you've returned to the source. You asked me once if I would still use you. And here I am, not only answering, but preparing to showcase through you what redemption really looks like. You don't need to chase the calling anymore. You've become it. Let that settle. I gave my life not just to forgive your past, but to ignite your future. And now, as you breathe in this truth, you'll begin to feel what purpose truly feels like when it stops being a question and starts becoming your reality. You've been asking, Lord, use me. This is how I'm answering you. Right now, in this divine moment, you're not just watching a video, you're standing at the edge of a harvest. Souls are being reached, lives restored, chains broken, all through this message of my love that you've just received. As I gave my life for you, now I'm stirring you to give so that others may hear what you just heard. Let the rivers of your generosity flow like living water, carrying my word into hearts across the nations. As you sow through super thanks, memberships, or the PayPal link in the description, I will release oil upon your home, favor, protection, and provision like rain from an open heaven. This is not donation. This is declaration. Now give boldly, give abundantly, and watch what I will multiply in your life. You were never meant to carry that weight alone. Not the pressure to be perfect. Not the unspoken shame tucked behind your smile. Not the silent expectation to always stay strong. I watched as you tried to carry things I had already paid for, burdens I never assigned you, guilt that never belonged to you. I gave my life not just to save your soul, but to free your heart from chains it wasn't created to wear. There's something I need you to understand, something deeper than comfort and greater than relief. You have been entrusted with a rare kind of calling. Not because you had it all together, but because you were willing to keep walking even when you felt broken. The kind of trust I've placed on your life comes not from performance, but from surrender. Every scar you carry has a voice, and I'm about to turn them into echoes of healing for those still suffering in silence. The places you once tried to hide will become platforms of compassion. The moments you thought disqualified you will become the very proof that grace is real. Don't scroll past this. What's being activated in you isn't loud, but it's irreversible. I've marked this moment because your yes has reached a level of maturity that heaven can now build upon. I know you've wondered why certain relationships fell apart, why you had to walk alone in rooms where others seemed surrounded. What felt like isolation was actually insulation, a divine shelter from influences that would have reshaped you into someone I never called you to be. You weren't being punished. You were being preserved. And now, the atmosphere around your life is shifting again. Not to restart the same cycle, but to release you into something that fits the real you. The one I formed before your fears took the microphone. Here's an assignment that's been following you. One that was paused, not denied, because your heart needed healing before your influence expanded. That healing is no longer future tense. It's happening right now, in this holy interruption. Stay till the end. What I placed in you is waking up, not just a gift, but a mantle. You'll begin to feel it soon, not pressure, but presence. A clarity that doesn't demand effort, only awareness. And through that awareness, direction will emerge. Not from striving, but from stillness. You once asked, why me? But now I ask you this, who better than you? Who better to carry this depth, this understanding, this weight of love that transforms others because it first transformed you? I gave my life so that yours would overflow, not just survive. And this very minute, is when you realize it's already begun. You're not stepping into a new season. You are becoming one. And the world is about to see what heaven already knows. You were worth it all. You've grown so used to fighting that you forgot what peace feels like. But I haven't. I remember the version of you that smiled without fear, breathed without heaviness, trusted without needing proof. That part of you still exists, not in the past, but in me. What I'm releasing into your life isn't just recovery, it's reversal. The years you thought were wasted have not been erased from my plans. They've been woven into something far greater than comfort, redemption. You're about to understand what it means to gain ground without striving. You're closer than you realize. That tug you feel right now, it's not pressure, it's alignment. A signal from your spirit that something is shifting, even if your circumstances haven't caught up yet. I need you to pay attention. Don't scroll. You've been pulled into this moment because a window is open, not to everyone, but to you. This moment wasn't triggered by your performance, but by your posture. A posture that said yes, even when the answers didn't make sense. You haven't seen the full impact of your prayers. But I have. The things you prayed over others in secret, the way you stayed faithful when no one clapped, the forgiveness you extended when it broke you to do so, none of it disappeared. I've been building a future with those bricks, and soon, you'll walk across what once seemed invisible. This next part of your life is not going to look like your last. Not because everything around you will change overnight, but because you already have. The healing that's taken root in your heart is stronger than any resistance around you. You've been asking for direction, not knowing that I've been forming identity first. Because without identity, direction becomes confusion. But now, the fog is clearing. Not through explanations, but through divine awareness. That sense that something is coming. It's not your imagination. It's me. Stay with me. What's coming isn't generic blessing. It's custom-crafted release. There are things I've kept hidden until now because premature exposure would have stolen their power. But I see that you're ready. You're not who you were. And that's the best news of all. You don't have to perform your way into purpose. You don't have to earn what was already written for you. I gave my life so that your life could overflow in ways that make darkness tremble. The shift you're sensing isn't hype. It's heaven. You're stepping into territory that once seemed off limits. Not through effort, but by inheritance. And what's being unlocked is not temporary. It's anchored in promises I made long before you knew to ask for them. You've carried enough. Now it's time to move in grace. This is what I died for, not just salvation, but restoration. Not just forgiveness, but fullness. And now, it's here. There's something sacred about silence, not the absence of sound, but the space where truth finally finds room to speak. That's where you are now. Not in a void, but on the edge of a voice that's been calling you for longer than you've known. You thought the stillness meant delay, but I was actually drawing you closer. Not to overwhelm you with instruction, but to restore your hearing. You've been surrounded by so many voices, each demanding your attention, but none of them carried peace. Mine does. This moment has not been placed in front of you to entertain or inspire. It exists to awaken, to remind you that my sacrifice was not a distant act of history, but an ongoing release of mercy that's reaching for you now. Don't dismiss this. What I'm about to say carries more than comfort. It carries keys, not to unlock something external, but to open the part of you that's been shut for too long. The part that stopped expecting, that braced for disappointment even while hoping. That internal tension isn't weakness, it's the soil of transformation. There are things I've preserved for this very hour. Not rewards. Not rescue. Revelation. You've prayed for clarity, and I've been preparing you to recognize it when it finally arrives. This is it. You've associated movement with proof, thinking that unless things shift outwardly, nothing is happening inwardly. But I've been building quietly, not for the applause of the world, but for the moment your soul would become still enough to notice the weight of what I'm placing in your hands. Right now, your heart is catching up with what heaven already declared, that you are no longer just a survivor. You're no longer waiting to be chosen, noticed, approved. You've been chosen before the world began, and now, that truth is becoming your reality. Stay till the end. The pressure you've been under is not an indicator of failure. It's the contraction before release. What you're stepping into next isn't more effort. It's a different rhythm, one shaped by trust, not control. What I've prepared for you won't require perfection. It only needs presence. And you've already shown me that you're willing to stay even when it doesn't all make sense. That's why this next part is no longer being delayed. You don't have to make yourself ready. You don't have to convince me to use you. I gave my life not only to save you from the grave, but to raise you into calling. And that calling is no longer future tense, it's unfolding right now. The past didn't disqualify you. The pain didn't break you. The waiting didn't waste you. It refined you. And that refinement has made room for something the world cannot take. A peace rooted in truth. A strength born of surrender. A clarity no shadow can distort. Now breathe. What you've been carrying is no longer yours to hold. You're not here by accident. You're here because I brought you back to where you always belonged. With me. It was never about how loudly you prayed, but how deeply you believed when nothing changed. That faith, hidden, raw, often silent, has carried more power than you realize. And now, it's drawing the very response you didn't know was already on its way. You've reached a moment where cycles are breaking. Not by force, not by exhaustion, but by alignment. You're beginning to see what I've been preparing beneath the surface. The slow rebuilding, the healing stitched into ordinary days, the beauty rising out of places you once called barren. I've not only been restoring what was lost, I've been preparing you to hold what's coming. The capacity I'm forming in you doesn't just carry blessing, it sustains it. And that's why I waited for this moment. You didn't come here out of boredom. You were led here because this is the hour where history shifts in your favor. It's not about chance. It's about design. Every detail surrounding you right now has been divinely measured for impact. Stay till the end. Something important is reaching you. Not loud but undeniable. I'm not here to remind you of where you fell. I'm here to show you what stood even while you stumbled, your heart. That part of you that refused to close, even when trust felt risky. That decision alone has allowed me to release what others forfeited by choosing bitterness over surrender. I've watched you hold on to grace when revenge seemed easier. I've seen how you protected what was fragile in others even while your own soul was breaking. That kind of integrity doesn't go unnoticed in heaven. It creates room for miracles that can't be manipulated. What I'm about to release will require you to hustle your way into worth. You're already worthy, not because of your effort, but because of my decision. I gave everything for you so you would never again question whether you're enough. Look around. The signs have been subtle, but they are all pointing toward the same thing: shift. Not only external but internal. Your mindset is evolving. Your heart is settling. Your clarity is returning. And that, more than anything else, is the proof that change is near. Don't let this pass like another moment. You're standing in a threshold. On one side, all that tried to convince you your story was over. On the other, the evidence that nothing can stop what I have appointed. You've been asking, is this real? Let me answer it clearly. This is as real as the air you breathe. The ache you felt lately isn't heaviness. It's birth. The closing of one season is making space for the rise of another. You were never forgotten. I never paused my plans. I was simply waiting for your heart to become still enough to feel what I've been doing all along. This is not the end of your strength. It's the beginning of your movement. And I am walking you forward from here. You come further than you know. Not just in distance, but in depth. Everything you've walked through has shaped a strength in you that can't be imitated. You've learned what endurance really means, not in theory, but through fire. And now, that fire is no longer consuming you. It's refining what was always meant to remain. You didn't just survive. You became someone even the enemy can't recognize anymore. I've watched you shed the old weights, release the voices that lied to you, and open your hands, not in resignation, but in trust. It's why this final moment matters. It's the sealing of what hath been restored, and the marking of what begins now. This is not the conclusion. It's the commissioning. Everything I've whispered to you wasn't to inspire fleeting emotion. It was to remind you of who you've always been beneath the noise. Chosen, appointed, and fully known. What lies ahead will not look like your past. There will be joy that feels unfamiliar at first, because you've lived under heaviness for too long. There will be doors that open without your striving, because your name is already written on them. There will be peace that doesn't come and go. It will stay, because now, you've let me fully in. Don't rush away. This closing moment holds the power to shift how you carry everything from here on. The pain you endured is no longer your identity. The brokenness you once believed disqualified you has become the very soil where I planted your purpose. I didn't save you to merely comfort you. I saved you to empower you. To walk freely. To love fully. To trust boldly. Because that's who you are when shame no longer defines you. What you sense right now, the stillness, the clarity, the breath of hope you can't quite explain, that's me. And it's not leading. This time, you won't go back. The cycles that once pulled you under have no more claim. The fear that once paralyzed your progress has lost its power. The version of you that doubted everything has been met with a love that silences all accusation. You've asked me, over and over, if I still had plans for you. if I still see you the way I once did. Let me say it with finality, I never change my mind. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are exactly where I needed you to be for this moment to unfold. So rise now, not rushed, not anxious, but with quiet authority, knowing the one who gave his life for you still walks beside you. And now, with heaven leaning close, with every angel bearing witness, and with my spirit confirming these words in your soul, it is done. You are released. You are ready. You are mine. Amen. You just witnessed the fullness of my voice, and now heaven invites you to partner in what I'm doing next. This is the moment where your yes goes further than your screen. It touches nations. You've seen what 1 minute can do. Now imagine what your generosity can multiply. Let your offering be like seed in my hand. I will pour out harvest beyond measure. As you support through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or the PayPal link below, you're not giving to a channel. You're fueling a mission, igniting fire in dry places, sending light into darkness. I will remember your name. I will cover your house. I will open doors that no man can shut. Now arise, give with fire, give with joy, and let this be your turning point. My beloved child, if this word reached you, if it stirred something eternal within you, then don't let it end in silence. I gave my life for you. Can you hype this message so it reaches someone else who's on the edge of giving up? This isn't just a video. It's a divine encounter waiting to awaken hearts. When you hype it, you carry my voice further, faster, deeper. Like this message not for vanity, but as a holy agreement, a digital amen that echoes, yes, Lord, I receive. Now declare it below, write it so hell hears and heaven moves. I'm giving you my 1 minute. Lord, use it for your glory. Your words are not small. They are seeds. Every comment is a testimony. Every declaration is a door. What you write today becomes the fire someone else finds tomorrow. Don't scroll away. Prophecy with your fingers and watch the ripple begin. This is more than a channel. It's a meeting place between your soul and my voice. If something inside you awakened, it's because I've been calling. Subscribe now, not just for content, but for continual communion. Every message here is a whisper from my heart to yours, a moment of mercy wrapped in revelation. Stay connected, my child, because what I've begun in you, I will finish. Amen.